Thank you for clicking. In this video, I would like to discuss today's very popular way of conducting evil acts. My name is Dr. Samurai. I'm hoping this video will help you deepen your understanding of underlying mechanics of all kinds of social problems that is happening in today's world for you to attain true happiness on this planet Earth. As usual, I would like to provide you some basic information in the first half, then like to move on to our main discussion in the latter half. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. So, I said today's way of doing evil acts, meaning attacking others stealthily, which is intentionally trying to find someone who doesn't align with others. For example, this is what actually happened around me. I used to go to this massage joint to loosen up my stiff body, and that masseur, he was around early 40s, good guy to me because I'm a customer, but he had some weird habit. It was he checked outside of the window and see the streets right down his office. When he sees illegally parking cars and motorcycles and mopeds, he calls police to give them tickets. I asked him why he does that. He first told me because they are violating the traffic rules, illegally parking their vehicles on the street. But later on, in a more relaxing situation, I asked him again, what's the fun of it? And he goes, without them knowing I was causing it, they are having arguments and disputes between cops and the owner of the vehicle. And he said he loved watching it. So, you see this? On surface, he says he is doing it as social justice to clean the street. But his true motive was having some psychological excitement and fun to watch others fighting, which was stealthily caused by him, and they don't know it. You see, very cause of this act was his stress. Probably he had and still has his girlfriend, who is kind of a descendant of a foreign ethnicity, and his parents were kind of strict, do not like his son to get married with such a girl. So he was always watching his parents, especially his mother's face, and following whatever she says, because they are still living under the same roof. So I think this psychological control of him by his domineering mother was the very reason. So he is releasing his own frustration by superficial social justice. See, this is very popular today. They say they are doing the right thing, but their real motive is their own anger. They want to release their anger by pretending they are doing social justice. I told you before, one of my specialty is extreme violent acts, including serial killers. And serial murders are categorized into 4 types. One is a visionary, which is caused by psychotic person. Must keep killing people to stop another earthquake and stuff like that. And second is mission. Keeps killing innocent people under his fixed idea of social justice. They keep killing racial minorities, homosexuals, religious minorities, things like that. And the other is hedonistic. It's like getting excitement and pleasures by hurting others. And the 4th type is power and control, enjoying playing God on other person's life or death. These 4 are the major categories of serial murders. Doesn't one of them ring a bell to the topic we are discussing today? This releasing own aggression and anger, pretending like doing social justice? Yes. The number 2 category, mission-oriented serial murder, is caused by the same underlying mechanics. Please imagine Death Wish by Mr. Charles Bronson, or more recently, like Punisher, keep killing criminals based upon his own anger of having his own family murdered. These are the mission-oriented. Act of murder may be too unusual in our daily lives. But trying to find someone who doesn't align with others or with regulation and attack them and feeling good. This type of person very often exists around us. Don't you think so? I still remember when I lived in the United States in the second time to get my master's degree. I wanted to be in the United States because I had to be ready to study, right? So I had to prepare my living foundation, so to speak. So I think I went there a week in advance of the start of my course. And I went to the dormitory. There was this guy in charge of management of the dormitory. He was not a student. He was a university employee, okay? And I go like, in immature English, I came from Japan, and I came here a little bit earlier to be ready for my classes and my life in the United States. And he goes like, oh, you cannot stay at this dormitory until your course actually starts. So you have to find somewhere else until the class starts, which is a week after. So I couldn't speak English that well at the time, and I didn't know any place to stay at. So I still remember on the first night, since I didn't have that much money, I went to downtown and stayed at the YMCA because it was cheaper than staying at the hotel. But it was in the middle of very dangerous areas, and silence of police cars were continuous during the night. And the very next day, I went to school and talked to the professor who kind of represents me. And as soon as she heard my story, she got so mad, and she called right over to that dormitory to talk to the guy. And he suddenly backed off. You see what I'm saying? And I was able to stay at the dormitory starting on the second day. If he was really doing that for justice, he shouldn't have backed off, even if the professor higher than him called him, right? But he backed off. And I tell you what, I still remember right before I got out of the building to the YMCA on the very first night, he goes like, I am trying to help you. Do you get it? Trying to help me and blocking me from staying there? Who doesn't know anything? Come all the way from Japan by taking like a 10 hours flight and so? This is what I'm talking about, and this kind of stuff happens all the time. I think more often today because of this stressful social situation due to COVID-19 and things like that. You know, one other good example is seeing an illegally parked car at night and stuff, looked around and making sure nobody is looking at him or her, and scratches the car body with their key. You know, that happens all the time, right? That person is not doing that for social justice. He or she is already carrying their own anger and trying to find a way to release that anger by justifying it socially. You know, that the serial killer who does it as his mission, it's exactly the same. Most often victims are like prostitutes. They say prostitutes are spreading diseases and infesting streets of the town. They say it and they keep killing them. But now it comes from his own anger. this is the value. Okay? Today, because of so many security cameras and so many rules that handles human relationships, those who carry their own anger tend to do it under the name of social justice. I want you to remember that. Those who keep killing animals, saying they are alien species, they could be one of them too. In the mixture of business profit. They are doing it by saying they are protecting their natural environment. But no, they are actually doing it for money. They love killing them. Can you kill those perfectly healthy animals who didn't do anything to you? No. Normal person with the normal emotion and empathy can never kill. I cannot even kill the bugs, But think about this. Considering all those wildfires and abnormal level of global warming that the fishes are cooked in the natural seawater, and because of this global warming, all those animals who used to live in the tropical habitat were all coming up. There are so many big changes happening which they don't do nothing about, and just to kill those easy targets. And in the end, what happens is they stop after government stop paying the money, and those animals living generations and generations in that community becomes one of their indigenous animal. That's the truth. You gotta look at the big picture. We cannot control nature. We should rather stop wildfires that covered all over Australia and such a large area and so many times in California. We should do something about it first. That's the, I think, reasonable priority there. I'm telling you the truth. So, again, please keep in your mind that today's attacks are stealthily conducted under the name of social justice. This is true. And I would like you to live wisely, understanding that. Wherever you are, my friend, on this same planet Earth during the miraculously the same period of time. Okay, bye-bye now.